Greetings, my dear friends. Today we embark on a journey to demystify the enigmatic concept of the ego. You see, there's often a lot of chatter about the ego. Some say it's a nuisance, something to discard, while others claim it's the root of all problems. But let me propose a different perspective, one that might tickle your philosophical taste buds. We've all heard the advice: let go of your ego. Stop identifying with your ego. But what if I told you that this very act of trying to get rid of the ego is like trying to run away from your own shadow? Except this is a battle that you can't win. You see, the ego is not a thing. It's not something you can rid of because it is not there to begin with. You can compare it more like a shadow. A shadow is not a thing, it is simply the absence of light. In the same way, the ego is not a thing, it is simply the absence of true understanding. My friends, recognize that the ego is only a construct, a mental fabrication formed by our experiences and perceptions. It is the result of our identification with the stories we tell ourselves and the roles we play in the theater of our minds. Just as a shadow is cast by the interplay of light and objects, the ego is cast by the interplay of our thoughts and perceptions. Imagine, if you will, a big tree, standing tall and proud, rooted deeply in the earth. But it does not have an ego. It does not strive to be anything other than what it is. It simply grows and flourishes in harmony with its surroundings. But then you might find yourselves asking, but we are not trees. We are complex beings with thoughts and emotions. Indeed, we are not trees. We human beings have a natural sense of self, a sense of I. And this self, or ego, is not inherent bad. It's a tool, not a problem. It's the canvas upon which life paints its experiences. The ego is neutral. It has no inherent meaning. It's like a blank canvas waiting for life to paint your story upon it. The trouble begins when we cling too tightly to this painting that is created, refusing to let the artist, your true self within us, change the painting. In essence, you cannot experience this world without your ego. The illusion of the ego is so big that you can never get rid of it. Even in enlightenment, you don't escape the ego. You only transform your identification of the self to something bigger. But it will still be a form of identification. You see, life is an ever-evolving masterpiece. Every time you develop yourself further, your ego will create a new story of identification, a new painting. But my dear friends, the ego isn't the villain in this story. It's the ever-present canvas. A painting of your life story. It adds color to your experiences and shapes your journey. It helps us navigate the world, interact with others, and make decisions based on past experiences. However, trouble arises when we become overly attached to this painting we created and mistake this mental construct as our true essence. The path to wisdom involves shedding light on this illusion. We must learn to observe the ego from a place of awareness, understanding that it is not our true self, but a temporary formation. Realize that we are not the painting, but the one observing it. We must illuminate our consciousness with understanding, acceptance, and mindfulness. As we become more aware of the ego's illusory nature and realize who we really are, we can begin to loosen its grip on our lives. We can let go of the need to constantly defend and reinforce this mental construct. In doing so, we find freedom, authenticity, and a deeper connection to our true selves. A self beyond the confines of the ego. Let us embark on this journey of understanding, shining the light of awareness on the shadows of our minds, and embracing the profound wisdom that comes from transcending the illusions of the ego. Embrace the true nature of reality, which is interconnectedness and oneness. You realize that the ego is only a tool, a way to navigate this human experience. A wise mentor once told me, "Your ego is your amigo. Don't waste your energy on a battle you can't win." You don't need to get rid of the ego. You only need to release the attachments you have to this created self. So, my dear friends, the journey towards self-discovery and growth involves nurturing mindfulness and awareness. Embrace your ego, acknowledge its function, comprehend its true essence, and dance with the rhythm of life, for in doing so, you will become who you truly are.